Hello and welcome to SAR Histories, where on the channel today we will be visiting Derby Museum and Art Gallery. The museum can trace its start to the formation of the Derby Town and County Museum and Natural History Society on the 10th of February 1836. The society was housed by Full Street Public Baths, but it was a private society funded by its members' subscriptions. The patron of the Museum Society was William Cavendish, 6th Duke of Devonshire, and the president was Sir George Crewe, who was a keen naturalist. In 1839, a major exhibition was held at the Mechanics' Institute, which contained many items including those from Joseph Strutt's collection. Many of these made their way into the Derby Museum's collection. The Society moved in 1840 to the Athenaeum in Victoria Street. The Society's collections grew in 1856 and they were first offered for incorporation into the town by William Mundy, but the offer was rejected. In 1857, Llewellyn Jewett became secretary, and the museum was open to the public on Saturday mornings. In 1858, the Museum Philosophical Society moved to a house on Wardwick in Derby, as it merged with what was called Derby Town and County Museum and the Natural History Society. This move included the Society's library of 4,000 volumes, mathematical and scientific apparatus, and its collection of fossils. In 1863, the botanist Alexander Coral was appointed the first librarian and curator, and the following year the museum and library were joined together. Coral left in 1875. The Derby Town and County Museum was finally transferred into the ownership of Derby Corporation in 1870, but there were difficulties in finding space to display the collection. After placing all the artefacts into storage for 3 years, the museum was finally opened to the public on the 28th of June 1879. The art gallery opened in 1882, and in 1883 the museum had electricity supplied for new lighting. In 1936, the museum was given a substantial collection of paintings by Alfred E. Goody, who had been collecting art for 50 years. At his death in 1945, he left £13,000 to build an extension to the museum. The extension, which now houses the museum, was completed in 1964. Refurbishment to parts of both the new and old buildings were undertaken in 2010 and 2011. Sadly, in 2012, over 1,000 items were stolen from the museum storage facility between the 2nd of May and 19th of June. The museum did not know about the thefts until they accessed the facility to remove an item from storage. Stolen items included coins, medals and watches. A man was charged with receiving stolen goods in connection with the theft in January 2013. Some of the items stolen were recovered, the rest remain lost. Today, the museum has thousands of artefacts which you could spend hours looking at. There is a gallery displaying many paintings by Joseph Wright of Derby. There is also a large display of Royal Crown Derby and other porcelain from Derby and the surrounding area. Further displays include archaeology, natural history, geology, military collections and world cultures. In the archaeology gallery, you won't be able to miss the huge Bronze Age log boat made 3,400 years ago from a single tree trunk. Other highlights include hand axes made by the earliest humans, jewellery and other finds from Derby's Roman settlement, grave goods belonging to Derby's earliest Anglo-Saxon settlers, and St Alkmund's coffin, a Viking sword and the Codner Castle medieval gold coin. The Notice Nature Feel Joy Gallery has nearly 2,000 amazing specimens from their natural history collection. In this gallery you'll find the Malayan sun bear that lived its life in captivity in a pit in a pub in Stapnell, Burton-upon-Trent. This impressive 200 million year old marine reptile is nearly 2 metres long. It was found near Barrow-on-Soar in Leicestershire and has been at the museum since 1877. The Allington hippo is 120,000 years old and was found by workmen in Allington in 1895 and donated to the museum soon after. Derby Museum houses the largest collection of works by artist Joseph Wright, which are a marvel to study. The Soldiers' Story Gallery is dedicated to the history of the 9th and 12th Royal Lancers the Sherwood Foresters and the Derbyshire Yeomanry. In this gallery you will see the different uniforms and equipment needed for war. In this gallery you'll see medals, the Barton trumpet which was used to sound the charge at the Battle of Waterloo in 1815, and a range of uniforms. The Royal Lancers Museum has been located at Derby Museum since 1973 and highlights the remarkable history of the Royal Lancers. Displays include a fantastic range of artefacts that gives you great insight into going to war on horseback, foot or by tank. The Gallery of Objects of Love, Hope and Fear, a world collection, has many objects from different cultures around the world. It is arranged into 7 zones which connect historic events full of pain, joy and everything in between. There you'll see drums, wooden pillows, weapons and jewellery which will captivate you. There are 2 Egyptian mummies that have been on display at Derby Museum since 1879. The mummies date from around 650 to 250 BC, both of which are elaborately decorated. The older mummy is partially unwrapped so that you can see his face, hands and feet. For me, the Egyptian mummy was the most fascinating, as it is in a well-preserved state even after thousands of years. The museum houses a replica of the room in Derby where Bonnie Prince Charlie held his council of war in 1745 while on his way south to seize the British crown. The panelling is from the original Exeter House, which was demolished in 1854. At the time of demolition, the panels were brought to the museum, which then received related objects as donations. Queen Victoria provided an original letter of Bonnie Prince Charlie from her own collection. In this room you'll learn the story of the attempt by the House of Stuart to regain the British throne, though it is no longer displayed to look how the room may have looked on the 5th December 1745 when Bonnie Prince Charlie held his war council, something that I hope returns in the future. Derby Museum and Art Gallery is a must for any history enthusiast, no matter what period you prefer. It is free to enter with donation boxes, so please donate if you are able to help keep history alive. If you have enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you all next time. Until then, goodbye.